very smart, very technically damn near perfect arm wrestler.
What are the main lessons you take away from this experience that you now apply the rest of the way going for your quest for 100?
It really was an unrealistic expectation for me to think that. Now, going into this match, I had done everything I possibly could, considering what I had just went through. Torn bicep, second guessing myself, not sure that I would be able to because the kid I'm going against is a stud. So I still hold multiple world titles now, but with COVID, I haven't had a chance to defend those because those leagues have not started back up, right?
Yeah.
So this was a new promotion that started during COVID or right after COVID. And I wanted that world title, right? It was a division I'd never been world champion in. And this kid from Kazakhstan, just all around, many people think he's pound for pound the best arm wrestler on the planet. Very impressive young man. So everything's good. No stress. Press conference goes well. Happy, cheerful, just in a good place. Kept my head right. Came out, old school Michael Todd with the big arms extended screen when I come out, and I'm focused. Slip, strap, even more focused. Round one was a grinder. Oh, my God. It went back and forth. Beautiful technical arm wrestling. We have no footage because it's pay-per-view. We can't release it yet. But it was I went back and watched it. I was like, oh, crap, that was a much more difficult match than I thought it was. Well, I came out on top. I won the first round. Normally, throughout my history, in one-on-one pro format arm wrestling, if I win the first round, I'm winning them all. Well, remember you guys asked me about the King's move that I'm so well known for? It's garnered a lot of hate over the years. And due to that, they've changed the rules basically every time I compete.
Every time they change it just a little bit more.
To make it more
real quick, can you tell us a little bit of what the King's move is? Just a refresher.
Well, just because of my limited range of motion, my hand won't come any closer than this to my arm. So to get the high knuckle that I need, I have to drop lower so that my hand will come up. Where my other hand, to have full range of motion, I just bring it to my face, right?
Yeah.
So it means I'm going to drop my shoulder lower to get my hand higher so that I can make the adjustments necessary for me to win the match. Well, they made it to a point where it used to be your shoulder can't go below the table. It used to could go below the table. Then the shoulder can't go below the table. Then the shoulder can't go below the pin height. Now the humerus bone cannot be declined at a negative angle during the neutral or losing position.
It's all very confusing.
Very confusing.
Yeah.
But I understand the rules because we have a rule thing and they're like, hey, you can't do this. Sweet. I will arm wrestle within those guidelines. In the second round, now, like I said, this kid is all over me.
A beast.
Now, you look at him, very deceiving, but his tendons and ligaments and joints and bones are like steel, which are all the things that are important in arm wrestling. I'm fighting through very precarious positions, right? Like, not ideal. And I'm getting in a position where I'm engaging my riser. My hand is climbing. I've got his wrist cracked. We're strapped together. And I'm opening my hand as I'm climbing. They say my humerus bone declines.
Stops the match.
For a millisecond. They claim it does. They stop the match, which means everything that I just fought so hard to get, I've now got to get again, right? So I'm like, well, crap, that's unfortunate because at this point, I've only been training for 3 weeks and I'm getting a pretty bad pump in my arm. Although I train with BFRs and I do all the training for worst case scenario, this is a situation where, oh, crap, I can't keep going or I'm not going to be able to use my hand because then I won't be able to execute the things I need to do.
Yep.
Restart the match. Same type of deal, except this time the kid's got a much better strap, much looser strap. He's way out of my hand. I'm still holding on to him. And then they foul me again. And I'm like, what? So I lose my shit. I think I'm cussing everybody in the building at this point, right? Like, what are y'all doing? I did not foul, right? Well, long story short, they give him the win. Round two, he actually does pin me. So now he's up 2-1.
Round three,
he actually does pin me. He's up 2-1. Now this is best of 5. I'm like, screw it. I'm just going to grab him, jerk him over to my side, and try because he's timing my transition, which I'm an outside arm wrestler to start, and then I'm diving in with the press to try to finish him with some fresh muscles. As my biceps, forearms, or lats are fatiguing, my shoulders and triceps and chest is still fresh. So I try to fatigue them and then drive these fresh muscles on their fatigue muscles to beat them. Well, he's timing it. Like he's countering me, he's baiting me. Like you can see him like letting up a little bit.
Very smart.
Very smart. Very technically damn near perfect arm wrestler. So I dive in and he hits on me. Boom. I catch him and I have no other choice than to just stick with it. So I dive back in again. and he hits me over for the pin. So he ends up getting the victory. He won. He had a great job, an awesome performance. It really was an unrealistic expectation for me to think that I could just jump in there and take a shot at this. But I know that I was on the same level as him. Like, it could have went either way.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, it's still a victory because my bicep held up. Like, I know my biceps healthy. After this kid bounced all over my arm for 20 minutes, I know it's going to hold up now. So I can get back to heavy deadlifting. I can get back to pull-ups. I can get back to everything that I was afraid to do before because I didn't trust it. Now I trust it.
So still, it is a fantastic promotion.
No, they did great. I mean, getting the best. This is stuff that's never done. Getting the best from the East, the best from the West. This is our 6th time that he's done it.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing. So the whole organization, everything they're doing is very professional. We were treated with a lot of respect. Mm-hmm. It's just in certain instances, and I told Rebecca this going in. I said, she goes, well, "Are you afraid about getting a bad call?" I was like, "Honey, I got to be so strong that it doesn't matter." And I wasn't so strong that it didn't matter because it actually did make an impact. So back to the drawing board, get back home. Like I said, I started training the very next day, train today, train tomorrow, fly home on Wednesday, train then. And then within a couple weeks, we're back to quest for 100. So back to getting my 100 first place.
Good news is it only cost him 1.
Yeah. Like, it wasn't like I was going to get like 7 or 8 of this one. I was only going to get 1. Now, it was a cool ass helmet and shield. And then they came out of nowhere, this awesome medal. I'm like, oh, I wanted that medal. Cool ass medal.
Well, other than the fact that your biceps held up and that's a positive moving forward, what are the main lessons you take away from this experience that you now apply the rest of the way going for your quest for 100?
I'm going to be honest with that. So there's one thing I learned. And so used to, and this is just complete transparency. Used to, I arm wrestled in a way that I did not care what people thought. I did it for me, and I did it because I wanted to win. Social media has put extra pressure on me to
win in a certain manner.
One that is deemed worthy from the know-it-alls on social media, right? So we're used to, all I cared about on Go was controlling the center of the table, left to right center. Didn't care what happened from me to you centered. I didn't care what happened from this way to this way. I just knew when the match stopped, my hand had to be in the middle of the table or towards me. I am very effective at being offensive and smashing people up to a certain level. Once those guys are at my level, they match my speed to where maybe I knock them off center a few inches, or we stop in the center of the table, or they hit me a couple inches to their side. But because I'm focused on trying to be offensive versus maintaining and controlling center of the table with back pressure and engage riser and pronation, I leave myself open to where my hand and wrist can get exposed. And I knew that, but I thought it wasn't going to matter. And every single round, I kept trying to hit him on Go, when all I had to do was just hit back pressure and keep my knuckle high. So in hindsight, that was an error that I shouldn't have made with my experience. Being in this game as long as I have, that's not an error I should make. And one of the crazy thing is, because afterwards, one of my fellow arm wrestlers and former world champions and just a friend of mine for 30 years, we're sitting aside, and he's asking me, and I'm like, well, after I won the first round, old school me was a little bit more brash. Maybe some people would call arrogant, right?
He's the guy that would spike the football and do the
a little touchdown dance. Yeah,
like, I'm the celebration guy. And previously, winning the first round when so many people were saying I couldn't would have been time for a celebration. With the pressure that I have either put on myself or I now have due to social media, I realized that after round 1, mentally, I did not celebrate because I didn't want to look like an ass if I lost. And I think I'm the guy that needs the celebration.
Interesting.
I'm the guy that needs those release of endorphins. And whoa, I need that because it makes me me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the lessons I've learned is try not to care what others think. Do whatever you can within the rules to win. And I don't know.
Control center.
I got a control center because I'm capable. I know I feel like I was the stronger athlete. There were a lot of things that played into his role where I'm arguing with the refs because of the calls. He's sitting in his chair getting his arm iced down while his coaches are disputing
Arguing.
what I'm disputing. So while I'm expending energy, he's just resting his arm, getting the pump out of his arm with ice on his arm. And I'm over here like losing my mind, you know? But so just things like that. And I think it comes down to, I want it so bad.
Yeah.
Like I've been there, I've been at the top for a very long time. And I had had some injuries, had a very bad case of COVID, just things that happened to me that I feel like took away what was mine. And I so desperately want it back. I'm making mental errors and stuff like that.
Yep.
That's the best analysis that I can give you with where my headspace is right now.